Chris Ducker, welcome to Focus on the Fun Stuff. I am really excited for today because you are the first guest on my podcast that I have in my previous iteration of when I started doing video,
right.
which you were one of my mentors at the time, and I was doing my TV. I interviewed you, do you remember, in Cambridge?
Yeah.
And so I've only ever done 2 interviews in my life, and you're the first person to come back now on the new podcast. And
there's all the other guests not like you anymore. Is that what it is?
You're the only one that said yes.
Brilliant.
It feels a bit full circle for me today because just before this episode, we were saying like we've known each other for 10 years. You have been a part of my life in like the virtual assistant industry, in your personal brand. Like you've helped me with so much. And now to get here, you're launching a new book, which we're going to dive into. Just feels really brilliant.
Yeah. And before we get going, I guess can I gush on you just for a minute?
Oh, please.
I'm so proud of everything that you've achieved over the last 7 or 8 years of watching.
Wow.
We worked with each other for a couple of years and then kind of like, we've stayed in contact and whatnot. But to see you doing what you have been doing and at the level that you've been doing it at and with the kind of the proness, there's the word of the day.
That's a good word.
Yeah, the proness of everything that you've done. Like, it's just, I'm really proud of you. Like, you've done a great job in what is a pretty hardcore competitive industry, both locally, nationally, as well as internationally. And you're kind of good, aren't you? You're kind of good.
Thanks, Chris. We can cut that bit out later.
No, leave it in. Don't you dare cut that.
Well, no, I mean I'm going to use that.
All right.
I'm going to put it on my website. That's what I meant. I'm going to leave it in.
Yeah.
So, Chris, please, if you can, you'll do a much better job than me. I think of you as the godfather of virtual assistants. You're the first person that really brought it home to me what a godsend it is to the life of a business owner.
Yeah.
You're also the godfather of personal brand. If you could tell the viewers who you are, where you come from.
So, London boy, born and raised, Wimbledon. Always into sales and marketing, my entire career, sales and marketing. Spent 18 years in the Philippines as my kind of later part of my adult life, as I sit here as an 80-year-old, right? I spent 18 years in the Philippines. I went over on a 2-year contract for a bank, and then ended up ultimately staying there. Met my wife, got married, set up a couple of companies, have a couple of kids, make a load of money, come back to England 6 years ago, carried on running those businesses, sold them both now, and now focused on, the message of the Youpreneur, which obviously you're well aware of. 10 years in September, Youpreneur.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So for those tuning in and don't know what Youpreneur is, it's basically it's a framework built around my 3-step framework of build, market, and monetize, meaning building, marketing, monetizing your expertise, your personal brand, the people you want to serve, that kind of stuff. So it's kind of focused on like authors, speakers, coaches, consultants, that kind of people. Been doing that for a long time now. And really over the last kind of 4 or 5 years, we've slowly but surely kind of niched down with that. And now we really do just basically focus on business authors and helping them write books, publish books, market books, sell books, and make money via their book being kind of that $20 business card that it is, basically. But it hasn't all been unicorns and profits, which is what this next book is about. It's kind of half, I'm not going to use the word memoir because I think that sounds ridiculous coming out of my mouth, but it's half kind of like precautionary tale and half handbook, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because as you know, I burnt out in 2010.
Yeah.
And that was, 16 hours a day, 6 days a week, building a big outsourcing business over in the Philippines, crushing my lower back in a chair, which then ended up spine surgery and all that good stuff. And yes, it was just as painful as it sounds. Not going to sugarcoat that one. And then I actually hit burnout again in 2021. And not a lot of people know about this.
No, which is a big surprise to me because, we have talked about your previous burnout before. Because just to I feel like you've almost kind of, the history that you've got, the work history that you've got, like you were at the beginning of the curve in terms of virtual assistants in the Philippines. Like you were right at the beginning of this trend. Everybody knows about it now, but you were the originator.
Somebody called me, I just came back from the Philippines where I spoke at a conference actually. Somebody called me the OG of virtual assistants. I was like, I'm the original gangster. VA, so cool,
That's
right?
Cool.
Yeah.
So you built a call center in the Philippines. You had Virtual Staff Finder, which matches virtual assistants with business owners. So you built those two things from scratch.
Yeah, ground up.
Yeah. And you then alongside that went, okay, I know how to build a personal brand. You built Youpreneur as well. So we've talked about in the previous video, which I need to find, is maybe like 2019, was that? And we talked about that.
Don't show any B-roll of that, because I had more hair back and I didn't actually have that much more hair at all. But yeah.
Well, yeah, we talked about that burnout. So just before this now, I was shocked to hear that you actually had a second burnout, and also, you have a book coming out in September, is it?
Yep, September,
Which is The Long Haul Leader. And when I saw that book was coming out, I was like, it's so in tune with everything I'm passionate about now, which I think comes from, like, in the virtual assistant industry, I want to help people. Virtual assistants want to help people. And when you speak to so many business owners, and we've all been there as well, when you have those moments that you don't enjoy your business, you're burnt out, you're not, as I would call it, focusing on the fun stuff. Like, it should be enjoyable as well. And so you've built this you've written this new book based on your second round of experience.
And it was, it was strange because, truth be told, with that first burnout back in 2009-10, I kind of felt it coming,
right?
If that makes sense. And I did what a lot of entrepreneurs do when they're making good money and they've got a certain amount of people working for them and they're servicing X amount of clients, et cetera, et cetera. I kind of just powered through it.
Yeah.
It'll be okay when, or I'll take a break when, et cetera, et cetera. So I knew it was kind of coming and it really hit me. And then I was kind of forced to take time off. And then obviously a year or so after, my back went because I had ultimately herniated my L5-S1 disc at the base of my spine by sitting for 16 hours a day, 6 days a week,
really?
building the company. Yeah. The damage was already done, all right? So it wasn't like I was, pretending to be Kobe Bryant or something and I dunked on somebody and hurt my back as a result or anything. No, I was just being very workaholic-y, and that's how that happened. With the second burnout in 2021, though, it was really, really, really different because I didn't see it coming. And retrospectively looking back, we can kind of take things away and say, oh yeah, that was maybe a bit of a sign. That was maybe a bit of a sign as well. And you can stitch those things together, right? And what it was, I realized that my energy levels were depleting during the day very quickly. And that's not me. I've always been a bit of a ball of energy, right? And so when I noticed it by kind of like 11, 12 o'clock in the morning, I was kind of spent and done for the day. And I noticed it over a prolonged period of time. I was like, something's going on here. Something's happening inside my body because this isn't me, And so I ended up doing a whole bunch of tests. Went to the doctor, and as she was pulling a whole bunch of blood, and we did like a cortisol test with my saliva and all this kind of stuff. As she was pulling all this blood, she was just having a kind of general chit chat with me about it. And then she said to me, because this was in the middle of the pandemic, I think we just come out of our second lockdown or we're about to go in the second lockdown. Can't remember what it was. And she said, so how have you been with the pandemic and everything, Chris? Because you travel quite a bit, you're speaking a lot in America and stuff, right? How is it? How have you found it? And this was it. Without even thinking, and I'd never uttered these words before to myself, I said to her, and I'll never forget them now I said them out loud. I said, the pandemic's taken everything away from me that makes me me.
Oh, wow.
That's how I feel about the pandemic. And she was like, can we dive into that a little bit? And I was referred to a mental health specialist.
Really?
And I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and thanks to all my medical tests, I was diagnosed with phase 3 adrenal fatigue.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm no doctor, but I can tell you what that means. Yeah. So your adrenal glands, there's 2 of them, tiny little things. They sit behind your kidneys. And they have one sole reason for existing, and that is to create cortisol.
Right.
And cortisol, as we know, is our stress hormone. It's your fight or flight, right? And so when you wake up in the morning, your cortisol is supposed to be really, really high. And then over the course of the day, it slowly, a nice little kind of semicircle arc comes down like this. Just before you go to bed, it should kind of hit a flat line. And then your body starts to create melatonin, which is your sleep hormone. Right. And so what happened was phase 0, you got the perfect little curvy line for your cortisol. Phase 1, it's a little lower in the morning, but it's kind of okay. It's still a nice curve, but you're a little fatigued, a little tired. Phase 2, a little further down. Phase 3, you're basically flatlined, meaning you wake up not creating any cortisol at all, and you stay like that all day long. And that's where I was.
Right.
So this is not something that happens overnight. This is something that happens as a result of continuous, non-stop stress. And when I was diagnosed with that, I didn't know what it was either. I had to stop. Hello, Dr. Google, can you help me out with this sort of thing? And I didn't realize at first what it was all about. And then actually when I read about it and realized that this had been happening in my body slowly but surely over the course of a few years, I had no idea. It coincided with leaving the Philippines, buying a 300-year-old property in Cambridge, renovating it, moving my entire family over to the other side of the world, getting kids sorted with school, helping a very homesick wife for the first 18 months or so, whilst all the time running live events and speaking and traveling and running these 2 businesses or 3 businesses and all that kind of stuff. And it was just like, nah. And it was finally hit me.
Wow.
And so that was that. And so, and that was really when I kind of went into real head down mode. I was like, well, this is number 2. There's never going to be a number 3, but this is more serious this time because not only is it physical, it's also mental. And so if you'd have asked me, 10 years ago when we first started hanging out, do you ever think you're going to be on antidepressants, Chris? I mean, get the heck out of here. What are you, crazy? Of course I'm not. I love life. Yeah, I was on them for 12 months.
For like a chemical imbalance, ultimately, that's what it's to do.
And I knew taking those pills, I knew that it wasn't going to fix the problem. It was only going to get rid of the symptoms of that problem. So I also did the deep work needed in order to make sure I didn't get on those and have to stay on those. And so, that, I guess that was kind of the control freak inside of me. So, well, I can't control where I am now, but I can control how quickly I get off them and how that makes me feel. And so that's when I went on the biohacking mission and all that kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh, because correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that when we talked about the burnout the first time around and you woke up and your back was done, like for me, it felt like the solutions for you getting out that burnout was more about Chris is doing 20 different jobs. I need to create systems. I need to get people to help me.
That's exactly what it was.
Is a completely different kind of burnout.
So 2010, I hired 8 people to replace me. That's mad. Saying out loud like that, right? 8 people? Yeah. I remember the catalyst of that, actually. I knew I had a problem, an issue, as they might say, because I was walking around our IT center in the call center. And or IT server room. And there were these flashing lights and blue and yellow cables and all this kind of stuff. And I'm looking around. And then I said, what the hell are you doing in there, man? You've got no idea what those lights do or what that cable does. Like, what are you doing? Why are you the IT director of your company that's already making multiple millions of dollars every year? Like, why don't you hire someone to do this? So I did. That was the first of the 8 that we hired, was that IT director. And I'm very happy to say he stayed with us all the way up to exit. That guy.
Really?
Yeah, wow.
So, that feels more like prescriptive of, well, I know that I've got lots of things that I'm doing and I can get people to help me. So this
almost an easier fix.
An easier fix. That
particularly from the entrepreneurial standpoint, because you're like, oh, I know what I need to do. I know where the problem is, and I also know what the solution is. Let's just do it. Right? And you know the old adage of like, well, if you've got a problem that money can fix, you don't really have a problem.
Yes.
I was doing fine financially, so we just threw money at the problem and it went away. I recovered, and that was that.
So this was a completely
this
different
was a whole different ballgame. And it was kind of like, and obviously I talk about it a lot in the book, because here's the thing, that one of the reasons why I didn't talk about it when I was going through it, and I'm very happy to talk about this in as much depth as you want, was at that time, 2021, I had ultimately removed myself from all of my businesses day to day, right? Like I like to build stuff and then leave it alone to make money. That's my MO, right? And I'd done it 3 times in a row. Very, very blessed and very lucky. But at that point, I was also pretty hardcore into coaching and mentoring guys. And I was charging good money for it, really good money, as I should. Charge what you're worth, right? Et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I've been through it.
Yeah.
Your coaching. Yeah,
There you go.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. So we'll get that clip. I think. So I said to myself, like, can I be open? You know, like people are like, oh, you got to be authentic, you got to be transparent, and all these other little buzzwords. And the fact of the matter is, yes, okay, fine. There's a certain amount of truth in that, but this is my decision to talk about this publicly or not. And with everything else that was going on in 2021, out of everything else that everyone else was going through, I did not want to end up
Totally get that.
throwing more crap up against the wall, quite frankly. And so I kept it to myself. I told half a dozen people that were close to me in my peer group and a handful of other folks that kind of might be able to help me in some capacity, right? But that was it. And then when I started thinking about writing the 3rd book, it was just the 3rd book. That was the title, by the way, on my Word doc. I'm not even joking, the 3rd book.
Right.
Because I had no title. I didn't really know what I was going to write about until I just started dumping a whole bunch of ideas. And then it kind of slowly but surely, I noticed it was sort of taking not an anti-burnout angle, but it was burnout was, or the burnout, and therefore the lessons to overcome that were becoming more and more clear to me in terms of how I was kind of compartmentalizing them.
Yes.
And we noticed that another framework was developing over these 4 main focus points of the book. And so I was like, well, if I'm going to talk about burnout and if I'm going to talk about the journey of recovering from that, then I have to do it properly. I can't skate around the surfaces. I've got to open up the kimono wide, warts and all. There's a visual for you.
Yeah. Especially with the arm movements
right.
as well.
Yeah, everybody. But that's what I needed to do. And so in the book, there's everything. I talk about everything. Yeah, everything. So the bottom line was, I needed to start taking care of myself first and foremost, better. I'd always kind of like been aware of the fact that I needed to eat somewhat clean, move my body regularly, get decent sleep. But when you really start zoning in on certain things, I got this bad boy. I see you're wearing one as well.
Oh, the Whoop.
This was a big game changer for me. In fact, I've referred so many people to it. I don't think I have to pay for this for about 4 years now because so many people have signed up via my link. Whoop, if you're watching, I'm available for a sponsorship, right? But like, once I started tracking everything, I'm a big believer, like the numbers never lie. If you ignore the data, you do it at your own peril, right?
Yeah.
So I started looking at things like sleep, recovery, activity, all that kind of stuff in a lot more kind of visceral type of way. Couple that together with the fact that there was more to it than just the personal mastery side of things that I kind of coined it that. There was relationships and love, and there was pastimes and hobbies and how that was playing into my recovery. And there was, other things like the work that I was doing, the people I was working with. Like, was I coming from a place of purpose and impact, or was I coming from a place of, I want to make some money? And there's no problems either way, but you've got to be like really aware of where you're at with all that stuff.
Interesting.
I went deep, really deep.
Yeah. So what just on that angle, because I am super interested in that, what is the impact of that for you, either coming at it from just making money or going for purpose? Did it have an effect on you enjoying what you were doing?
The thing is, so I'm not a gazillionaire.
No.
Let's clarify that right now, but I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. But I still need to, the money that I have, and I don't really talk about finances, or it's not my bag really, right? It's not that I'm uncomfortable. It's just nobody's business but mine really, right? Like, just being frank. But the money I have is for the future. It's for my family. It's for my grandchildren. It's for my retirement. What that ever might potentially look like, I don't know. But like, I don't want to start like drawing on that to live now. So I carry on making money. I carry on serving people. I carry on showing up. And for me, I realized actually that the days of me creating stuff, marketing stuff, selling stuff, promoting stuff to make money solely are gone. That I'm very, very aware of, acutely aware of it. And even though I still need to make money and provide for my family, there's more to it now.
Right.
It is about who I'm working with very specifically. If I don't see you as somebody, like if I couldn't invite you to my house to sit at my dinner table and have a dinner with my family, I'm not going to work with you.
That's a great analogy.
That's the line in the sand right there.
Yeah.
And it does mean that, prospective client-wise, it drops through the floor almost overnight. But then equally, once you realize that that's the bar, the people that you do attract and you do end up working with, holy moly, they're awesome. And so I've been working with people now for 3 or 4 years that every single year we sit down and we talk and we, look at what they've achieved in the last year and where they were at 3 years ago or 2 years ago, whatever it was. And we really realize just how much impact we're having, both individually, collectively, and as a group as well. And so for me, the impactful work that I do, it has to go way beyond what I do for that particular client. It also needs to affect the impact that they have on the people that they serve.
Love that.
And a very good friend of mine and a mentor of mine, who passed away, unfortunately, at the beginning of last year, Dan Miller, based over in the United States, his very last video that he posted on YouTube a few weeks before his death, he said, a lot of people have been asking me about my legacy and whether I feel like I'm going to be leaving a legacy behind. He said, my legacy is your legacies. It's the work that we've done together and what you pass on like that.
Yeah.
That's my legacy. It's not about me. It's about you and the work that you do. And when he said that, I was like, holy moly. That's exactly how we should be thinking.
Yeah.
Everyone that comes into contact with us, anyone we touch in any variety, in any way whatsoever, we want them to work on their legacy rather than worrying about our own.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. So the book's called The Long Haul Leader.
It is.
So, and then there's going to be a link in the show notes of how you get on the wait list and get the book, but just like diving into it. And there's a framework in there as well, which is the long framework as well.
Haul. Yeah.
The long haul framework. So I guess just, is the book, is it coming from an angle of, because obviously we've talked about like this burnouts where you just need to get out of the weeds and you need to get other help. Is this book more holistically around like the business owner themselves with just how they need to, I guess, like live daily, treat themselves, to be a long haul leader?
Yeah.
Is that
pretty
where
much
the book's about?
Yeah, pretty much. And I would say it's not entirely for entrepreneurs or business owners. This book it's an interesting book because my first 2 books were very entrepreneurial, but you could give this book to any CEO on the planet. They don't need to be an owner or a founder or COO or CMO or CFO or anybody kind of like even sales leaders, sales management, HR managers, directors.
Yeah.
Anybody that is seen as a leader in their organization, in addition to business owners, entrepreneurial minds, that kind of stuff. The book can be read by all those people. And even like, I was talking to a buddy yesterday about this, and he said to me, you know what you want to do? You want to make it such a simple idea, the concept of being a long haul leader, that, even people that aren't in those leadership roles should aspire to be a long haul leader. Because what does it really mean to be a long haul leader? Well, it means you take care of yourself properly, that you never stop learning, that you show up in the right way for your loved ones and your friends and family and all that good stuff, that you do really good work and that you provide a great service, and ultimately that, you spend time on you by engaging in hobbies and pastimes. It shouldn't just all be about work, career. And it's very interesting. The hobby side of things, very specifically, actually, has been something I didn't see coming. Because I talked about it. One of the big things for me to recovery on this burnout was really going all in on my hobbies, like really all in. Like they're on my schedule before any work call is.
Okay.
Like they're a priority for me. Like screw the rest of yous. I'm going to be painting, and I'm going to be cutting away and sipping away at little bonsai, and I'm going to be walking around in nature and taking photographs of birds and all that good stuff, because that's who I am now. I'm so self-assured of like, this is who I will do forever now. Businesses will come and go. So I'm going to make that a priority for me. I've been amazed at how many people I've sat down and talked to about this already. And they're like, let's talk about the hobby thing a little bit more. Because here's the issue, particularly with entrepreneurs. A lot of entrepreneurs don't have hobbies.
Yeah.
We don't. Going to the gym is not a hobby, by the way. You can't say, oh, my hobby's going to the gym or exercising. No, that's called moving your body. You're supposed to do that anyway if you want to live more than 5 minutes, right? So what's really a hobby? And what I found with two things, entrepreneurs very specifically are more inclined to gravitate towards creative hobbies, such as painting, patchwork, crochet, knitting. You'd be amazed how many. You'd be amazed how many entrepreneurs knit.
Really?
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. I need to keep a running tally. I met 3 yesterday in one room of like 45 people. It was amazing. And so like super creative stuff, super creative. And I think the reason why is because, for example, with my bonsai, when I'm sitting in front of a little tree, and I know I've had that tree for a number of years already, and I know that somebody else had it before me, and so on and so on. Before I cut off that branch, I need to really stare at that tree, because once you cut it off, you can't put it back on. So I'm totally immersed in what that looks like for the tree. Do I cut the branch off? Do I just prune it back? Do I wire it and bend it in a different way, or do I leave it where it is? Sometimes I look at a tree for an hour before I decide to cut a branch off, like a major branch. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Because once it's gone, it's gone. There ain't no super glue for that, right? So that's just one way, like, it's all on that one thing. When I'm out in nature and I'm walking around, and I don't mean with a podcast playing or even this fantastic podcast, but like, I mean like out and you're walking and you're through the woods or you're at a nature reserve or whatever, like you need to be tuning into birdsong. You need to be tuning into rustling in the bushes, and you need to be listening to the sound of your feet on the stones underneath your shoes. You know, all these things are like where we're just so viscerally taken away from our day-to-day stress as an entrepreneur, like super important.
Yeah, it's being present ultimately.
Yeah.
I think it's really important as well that, because I feel like this conversation is about giving yourself permission to, where you talked about, like, I love that you said you schedule in the things that are important to you personally first.
Yeah.
Because one, I guess it'd be really good if you had advice for business owners that are still in the thick of their business, but also managing this situation, because, you know, talking to somebody who's like, well, that's fine for you, Chris, but I've got to manage the team and I've got to do this and I've got to figure out how we're going to get some customers through the door next week. And I think I think it's becoming more and more at the forefront, which is great, about you can't show up and be good and also not treat yourself well, ultimately is the rule, isn't it? Yeah. And I think leaders are very much like they're having to look after everybody else in the business, or whoever, you know, subcontractors, whatever that is, that you kind of like, well, I'll get to it. Like, well, I'll get to it. Like I know you've said in both burnouts, you've been like, I'll get to it. And I think that permission piece of one, well, hang on a minute, no, to be a good leader, to have a successful business is like, this is a key part of it. But yeah, like if there's somebody listening to this, well, Chris, I've not sold 3 businesses, and just, you know, that kind of advice piece on, well, I'm still in the thick of it. Well,
here's the thing. 10 years ago, maybe even further back than that. In fact, I know I said it in Virtual Freedom. So let's talk 11 years ago. God, it's already been that long, making me feel old now. So 11 years ago, Virtual Freedom came out. And I remember writing in that book, and I've said it on stage dozens and dozens of times, and in podcast interviews and all the rest of it. Time is our most valuable asset. So we have to invest it wisely. Still true to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But I'm now at the point, particularly at this stage in my life, 52 this year, I believe that actually energy is your best asset. And so if you are consistently on, particularly mentally, as most business owners are, and you don't give yourself the ability to be able to step away regularly. And by the way, I'm not talking about, 3 days a week out in nature or anything like that. You do you. I'll do me. You do you. Very possibly all you need is 1 hour a week to just go all in on something, and that kind of recalibrates your mental bandwidth. And if that's all you need, then that's all you need. You understand what I mean? It's totally different for all of us, right? And like you say, oh, well, you sold a few businesses and this. that's irrelevant at this point. We're talking about creating more energy in order for you to show up in the right way so that you can have the absolute biggest amount of impact on the people that you're serving and those that are around you, right? And equally, I've really become very, very aware. I'm kind of like a reformed people pleaser.
Oh, really?
I used to say yes to everyone.
That surprises me.
Yeah. Well, particularly, why? Let me flip this around for a minute.
Because the whole time that I've known you, I feel like you are so sure and certain of your next movement, of what's a good thing to do, of partnerships, collaborations. I guess ultimately, I cannot imagine you saying yes to something that you didn't really think thought moved the needle.
Right.
I've always seen you as like super congruent, always spending your time, making things happen.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine you being a people pleaser. So it's a compliment.
No, genuinely. But for me to say that is telling. If that's the case, if you see me like that, then other people probably do as well. So me being honest and just saying, I think it was a bit of a people pleaser, really. But I'm not talking about like forever. But I mean, particularly kind of, 2008 through to kind of like 2018-ish, I would pretty much say yes to everything because I was in that season of hustle in growing my businesses. But I've now realized that actually hustle is a season. It's not a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be a lifestyle. And if it does become your lifestyle, I love you, Gary V, but nonetheless, if it becomes your lifestyle, then something's broken, right? So you haven't got anything else to really look forward to other than the hustle all the time. So I think now that I've realized actually, not only are my yeses a commodity, the fact that I'm saying no actually allows me to be more self-aware about the fact that when I say yes to something, I am saying no to something else at the exact same moment in time.
Yeah.
And so if I look at my yeses as being a genuine commodity that when put together compounds over a period of time, the things I say yes to shouldn't move the needle just as much, if not a lot more, than all the little yeses that I used to do before. Whereas like half of them I might not have said, I wouldn't say yes to this day, put it that way.
Understand.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, totally. So you've been more discerning about...
More discerning, more picky, more, I don't know, just grumpy. I guess, just like more aware of the fact that like, I just don't want to be everywhere anymore. I don't feel like the need to be everywhere anymore. But like I said, there was a season of hustle. So I'm going to say yes to all the podcast interviews. I'm going to say yes to all the invites to speak on stage, even if I'm not getting paid. I'm going to say yes to all those things. Now I'll say no way more than I say yes. And I'm a lot happier for it.
Really?
Yeah, 100% happy. 100%.
So the burnout in 2021, now, obviously, were we still locked down? We weren't really traveling at that point.
Yeah, we were
you were
locked
pretty
down,
much at home in Cambridge. And like, how was that to manage personally at home with the people around you?
Actually, here's the funny thing. I really enjoyed it. I actually kind of enjoyed being locked up with my family because I really love my family. I love my kids. I love my wife. If we didn't want to be around each other for a few hours, right, you go to there and I'll go here and... it was kind of like, I'm not going to say that it wasn't boring at times because it was, because I like to travel. I like to see my friends and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, when I sat down with the doctor, I said, well, it's taken away everything that makes me kind of me, like my identity and everything.
Yeah.
I was serious when I said that, as serious as I could be, but equally kind of like dealing with the idea that I couldn't go anywhere for a while. Like at first I hated it, but then you kind of just got used to it, didn't you?
Yeah, totally.
And it did become a bit of an issue where it was like, my daughter Chloe, who was obviously living with us at the time, she's now moved out and she's with her fiance and everything. But like at the time, it was like, hey, Dad, it's Wednesday, mojito night. I was like, oh God, I've been making too many cocktails. So I think the alcohol consumption went up a little bit, but I think we can all pretty much relate to that one, right? But yeah, it was okay. Would I want to do it again? No, definitely not. But we kind of got through it.
And when you went to the doctors and realised that you had a form of mental burnout, though, like your family around you, were they very? I guess your outward perception of Chris, were your family like, I'm sure, like, were they like, we knew you'd burned out, you were different, you like, did they sense that or know that, like how that was
Only
that with
my
your
wife.
family? Because I feel like a lot of people try and you know, you might be feeling like you're burning out and you'll see friends or family like, how are you? Yeah, I'm fine. And everybody in the business world is like, yeah, I'm fine, and actually they're not. Do you know what I mean? They're not fine. So how was that kind of navigating?
It was just my wife. She was the only one that sussed it out.
Right.
It was just my wife, because she's my best friend. And we've been together for so long that she gets it. Like she knows what I'm going to say before I even open my mouth. It's quite sickening, actually, to be honest with you. But it was only her. And she kind of said what it was actually. That summer, we always have August off as a family. I've been doing that now for about 6 or 7 years, kind of our sabbatical month. Like, it's tough to really do anything because the kids are off school. You don't really want to not be around when the kids are off school, right? Particularly when the weather's nice in England. We get like 4 weeks of nice weather a year. So it's like August is the month, right? And so we would always go away. And we went away to a beautiful countryside escape. Gorgeous old barn that had been converted. It was amazing. I loved it. 2 weeks of just like, and we threw axes and we did archery and we, went rambling in the woods and did a teddy bear's picnic for my daughter and my younger daughter, all that kind of stuff. It was great. And I thought I was going to come back from that feeling like really recharged and like ready to go again. And I walked in the first work day of whatever it was, in that first week of September that we came back. I turned on my computer in my home office. I sat there in front of it for 10 minutes. I turned it back off, walked out and didn't go back in the office for 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because I wasn't ready. I didn't want to do it. I hated it. I wasn't having fun. Wasn't having fun with it. And so that was when my wife kind of like, okay, all right, you got no energy.
Yeah.
You don't want to work. You don't want to write. You don't want to go on social. Like, like this isn't you kind of thing. Like, go to the doctor. And that's when it all kind of started. Yeah.
So long haul, the framework. Can we dive in? I don't want to give all the juicy stuff away that's in the book, but can we dive in a little bit to how somebody starts to be a long haul leader? Like, are there key parts to it that are like, we have to do X, Y, and Z all the time? Like, what does that look like? So some like takeaway stuff from this. Somebody's like, there's four biggie kind of points to make in the book. First one is personal mastery. So it's the understanding that it's okay to be a little bit selfish about yourself, particularly if you're in a position where you are a provider, right? In one way or another. There's different types, obviously. And what that looks like. What does that truly look like, right? So, well, if that means that you need to spend more time on you, whether it be meditating or exercising or getting a nutritional panel done so that you can take the right kind of supplementation. Recovery is important. People don't understand, like, it's okay to get like really active and, really fit cardiovascularly wise and all that kind of stuff. But like, if you don't learn how to recover, and you know what I'm talking about because you've gone deep into health as well. Yeah. If you don't learn how to recover after all those things as well, there is a knock-on effect to that, right? Like, I'm no expert, but I felt it and I know other people have felt it and I've read enough about it to know that you should be looking at recovery things. So, for example, cold plunges, anti-inflammatory, great for lowering, your cortisol levels if you're too stressed out. And also equally, it helps increase your cortisol levels if you're not, stressed enough, I guess, because of the intense kind of coldness on your body. Saunas are amazing. I do red light therapy 5 times a week. Oh, wow.
Because for me, I just felt the energy boost from it. I just felt the energy boost.
I actually have never done that. Just tell me what is the benefits of red light therapy?
So it's everything from anti-inflammatory, so it lowers down your inflammatory markers in your body.
Okay.
It's amazing for brain fog and focus and fatigue. And I mean, we're talking about like 20 minutes. I'm not like on a bed for like 3 hours a day or anything. But for me, the big thing for me was the very 2 key things when I tracked it. Again, I'm not going to say the word again, otherwise it becomes a free advert. But once I tracked the data, I could see every time I had a red light therapy session, number 1, my energy levels that day were brilliant. And number 2, my sleep that night were brilliant.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so, okay, I guess I'm going to buy a red light therapy panel and bring it home. And that's what I did. And I do it Monday to Friday. I do 2 plunges a week. I do 3 saunas a week, and it's recovery, 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 recovery. I've never been into meditation. I can't really meditate. It's just not my thing. So that's kind of like the personal mastery side of things, the supplementations and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's also the other side of like, you know, nonstop learning and all that kind of stuff too. The second thing,
I was going to say, I also love that about what you just said about meditation, because I feel like a lot of people now think that getting wellness is just about being zen, sitting in a room.
Right.
And it's not for everyone, is
No,
it?
it's
And I
not.
think it's really important just to find the things that help you. And just for anybody that doesn't know, we're not going to say it again, but the band that we're both wearing is really good for the key part of it. I mean, it shows you all your sleep and recovery, but the journaling part of like, oh, well, I did this. I had a glass of wine. And, oh, now that's why I've had bad sleep. The journaling part of it really starts to get you clarity, doesn't it, on what's good for you and what's not.
100%. And if you're wearing something like this for those reasons and you ignore those triggers, more fool you, right? Because like, why are you wearing it, right? So, so that's kind of the personal mastery thing. Just being really aware of what's good for you, what's not so great for you, and doing more of the things that are good for you, right? I will say, just caveat that very quickly, the nature thing. Going for a walk in nature, even if it's just once a week, I go every day, but doing it like once a week, no one's ever felt worse coming back from a walk in the woods, ever, right? So like, there's the whole thing. Please look into it.
And honestly, it shouldn't be underestimated what you just said, because that might sound a bit like, right, whatever, Chris. But honestly, I don't know what the science is behind it, but we used to live in the city centre of Manchester, and there came a part where I was like, I want us to move. We need to get out into leafier suburbs, greenery. I felt and feel completely different as soon as we moved. I told you the other day, I got myself an allotment. That is my bonsai tree, my allotment. And I love
pulling out your veggies,
doing a bit of weeding. And the hour I spend there on a Saturday, I feel so different afterwards. So like, if anybody's just like, well, what do you mean talking about going to the woods? It works. It really works.
It really does. It really does. So anyway, so that personal mastery. Number 2, love and relationships. Bottom line, spend more time with the people that you give a damn about. Because life's busy. Yeah. And we don't prioritize it enough.
We don't. Yeah.
We really don't.
We don't.
So like, I'm lucky to be able to work from home. So at 4 p.m. every day, just before 4 p.m. every day, I wrap up for the day. And I then am available for my kids the moment they get back from school, like 2 minutes past 4 or whatever it is, right? That's really key for me. Every Saturday morning, me and my second eldest boy, Charles, we go bird watching. Can you imagine this? He's 16 and he wakes up on a Saturday morning.
16?
I know, it's mad, right? Told you it's been a while. Wow. He's 16 and when he wakes up at 6:30 on a Saturday morning to go bird watching with me. What 16-year-old boy does that? I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have not have done that at all. But he does it. And we have a great time. We have a great time. Yeah. So little things like that.
Yeah.
I was at an event yesterday. I spoke yesterday in front of, like I said, 45, 50 or so entrepreneurs. And I told them, get out your phones and text somebody that you give a damn about that you haven't spoken to for the last 3 months. Everybody went like this straight away. They knew.
Yeah, they know the person.
They knew the person they needed. And they text them, boom. After about 10 minutes, I keep going with my presentation. About 10 minutes, you're going to hear this, do, 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 beep, 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 beep.
Really?
All the phones come back and people text them back. And they're like, oh, my brother's just replied. Oh, my mate from school is, and all this kind of stuff. And it was so obvious and so instant that I thought everybody in the room just got it immediately. So yeah.
It sounds so simple, that, but without a doubt, 99% of people listening to this are not prioritizing the people.
Please do that now. What camera? Like, please get your phone out.
Yeah.
And just text someone that you care about that you've not spoken to for a while. That's simple. It ain't hard to do that.
No.
It's pretty easy to do that, right? Most of the really important things actually I talk about in the book are really small little things. I call them micro moves.
Nice.
Little 1% changes. Do this, do this, do this, tweak this, tweak this, tweak this, tweak this. And before you know what's happening, by the end of the year, you've got like 14 of those little, 15 of those micro moves that you put in place, and your life is so much better as a result. Yeah. I don't do rah-rah, as you well know. I'll leave that to Tony Robbins. Love Tony, but that's his job, right? I just tell it how it is. I'm very kind of matter of fact, heart on the sleeve kind of guy. And all I know is that those little moves do add up. That compound effect is huge.
Yeah.
So that's number 2, love and relationships. Number 3 is all about the hobbies and the pastimes that we talked about. So if you're like a lot of people, they say, well, I don't have a hobby and I don't really know what I would like to do as a hobby, then my first piece of advice is, and you could kind of put 2 of these things together now, text someone or call someone that you do know has got a pretty good social life, for example, and just ask them, hey, I'm looking for a new hobby. You know me pretty good. What do you think I'd like to do for an hour or 2 each week, just to be able to decompress and kind of forget about stuff? Any ideas? Any ideas at all? Yesterday, again, session, there was a lady in her late 50s, just in case she ends up watching, late 50s, right? And she said, well, one of my neighbors has always suggested I try skydiving with him, but I've never done it.
Right.
So I said, look, that's a bit extreme.
I was thinking start small.
I was thinking like, do some pastels or something, you know what I mean? Bit of art on a Saturday morning. But if you want to jump out of an aeroplane with nothing but an oversized handkerchief between you and certain death, please feel free to go ahead and do that, right? That's you do you kind of thing. But, just ask the people around you. You know me well. What kind of hobby would suit me, do you think? You'll come with a couple of ideas. Just try it. Just try it. Like I'm pretty secure in knowing what I like doing. You're pretty secure in knowing what you like doing.
Yeah.
But not everybody's like that. But what I do know is unless you try things, you'll never know whether you're going to like it or not.
Yeah.
Never. So that's kind of hobbies and pastimes in a nutshell. And then the final one, it is the final one, right? Number 4?
Yeah, number 4.
The final one is the impactful work.
Okay.
And this kind of all comes down to, for me personally, I like to look, and I walk a lot of my clients through this with my coaching with them. And we probably did something similar all those years ago as well. It's just a simple kind of, not mission statement, but it's kind of an impact statement, important sentence, whatever label you want to put on it. And it really is just, I help whoever you help achieve whatever the solution is that you're providing them, so that there's the visceral emotional reason why they should be working with you. So I help entrepreneurial leaders achieve profitability and lifestyle so that they can make more money, serve better people, yada, 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 whatever it is, right? So it doesn't matter. Like just literally this morning, I was doing that with one of my clients, and he's been really struggling to figure out what his niche was, niche was. And he's an amazing consultant, amazing strategist when it comes to like profitability, scalability, all that kind of stuff. And we figured out actually that over the last couple of years or so, he's had a whole bunch of clients in the automotive world. And he's also a big race car freak as well. Like he actually races cars and he's into F1 and all that kind of stuff. So I said, you need to plug into this. This is where it's at. You help automotive companies, both big and small, blah, 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 blah. And he walked out of the room and was like, man, I can see the next 5 years now kind of thing. Very simple little tweak. So
Simple, but I do think lots of business owners, you're so stuck in not stuck. You're just kind of you're on the treadmill, aren't you? You're not
in the hustle scene.
Not actually on the treadmill, but you're actually on this kind of, well, I'm just doing, and you I just think that reconnection back with, what am I doing and who am I helping?
Yeah, if you're in the earlier stages of your growth, let's say the first 5 years, infancy of any business, really. What is it? You might know, you work with a whole bunch of small business leaders. Like, how many businesses go bankrupt the first 5 years? It's a massive amount, right? I haven't looked at those stats for ages.
No, I think it's above 90%. Maybe.
That's mad,
it's high,
right?
Isn't
so
it?
let's say infancy, first 5 years, it is hard.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah.
It's hard to look at these other things because you are all about survival. You are all about chasing down the deals and the profit and all that kind of stuff. I get it. But I do believe that if we become more acutely aware of who it is that we're helping and how we're helping them, not only can we help them a lot more than trying to be everything for everyone, but equally we'll be a lot happier and a lot more joyful in the work that we're doing day to day. And that's just a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, I think it's pretty powerful in like reigniting your passion of why you're doing what you're doing, because that can easily get lost, can't it?
Yeah. And frankly, I have fallen out of love with my businesses before.
Yeah.
And every time I've realized that that's happened, the only thing that has worked to help me fall back in love with them before is tweaking that statement slightly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 100%. Because I've noticed that I might have been really focused on one particular person for a certain period of time as a customer avatar.
Yeah.
But we tend to, like, money comes your way, opportunities come your way, and you end up kind of moving away from that initial marker in terms of what that perfect customer looks like. And then you realize, hang on, I don't like working with people like that. Why am I?
Oh my God, that is so true. Honestly, I feel that myself. You kind of say yes to everyone because you want to help and you want to grow, and then actually you kind of can lose your way a bit of the core of who
mainly because you want to grow.
Yeah.
Like it's not like it's a malicious thing. Like you're just like, give me your money. Like I'm a business owner. I'm here to make money. Give me your cash, right? But then you realize that it's important to make money as a business owner, obviously, but there is more to life than just money. That's for sure. And, sustainability when it comes to leadership is really just being really aware of what makes you happy. Everything else is just cloak and dagger stuff, as far as I'm concerned. Like, we have to remain happy. Like, when you've got 67% of entrepreneurial leaders around the world claiming to be burnt out, that's a problem.
Really?
Yeah, that's a problem. 83% of all C-suite executives say they're stressed out at work.
Oh my gosh.
83%. So the question is, what can we do to change that? And maybe it is as simple for some people as finding a new hobby. Maybe it is as simple for some people as starting to look after themselves properly and paying attention to signs in their body. Like, are they waking up too early? Is it taking them too much or are they going to sleep too late? These are the little signs, the little markers that you can start paying attention to them. I think it can bring about a lot of change.
Oh my gosh, totally. And they are on their own, and individual, as you talk about them, small details, but so seismic. Like the sleep thing. Once I got the band that will not be named, once I got that, and I realized,
if there's anybody from that company watching this right now, you need to give us money. You really do. Like, we'll talk about it all day long. No, but you're right.
When I got it and I realized sleep consistency is a thing that the time you go to bed massively impacts the quality of it. Your like REM levels, like how deep you sleep, just how you feel the next day. And once we started focusing on that, oh my God, my sleep.
Once you get into the green.
It's addictive. Then.
You don't want to get out of the green, do you, right? And then if you do drop out of it, you're like, no, I was on a 5-day streak. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
So like those, although you call them micro details and like micro moves, they are humongous. So if you actually start paying attention to yourself as a leader, because lots of people, with leadership, it's like, oh, well, my leadership style, or am I listening to my team, or have we got our KPIs? But actually the very first part, I think, which you like saying, just kind of, you're kind of wrapping up so well in this piece here, is just that actually being a really good leader is first about being a healthy, happy person with energy that can deliver.
I don't want to get like on a soapbox, right? Because what healthy is to one person is something completely different to other people, right? But what I'm saying is you just got to be aware. You've got to be aware of the things that you don't like or the things that aren't great for you. And the moment you realize that and you pay attention to that and you move past it, knowing full well that you've got to avoid drinking alcohol after 6 p.m., for example, or the fact that you can maybe take a sauna at the gym twice a week and you never do it, but that's going to help you. Start doing that, and you'll know that it'll be it'll have a massive amount of dividends coming your way because of it.
Oh my gosh. And the thing about this book as well, because if you've burned out and you're looking for help of how to get out there, okay, great, but also preventative. Like,
huge.
Like for me, this is the huge part about this book as well. Well, we don't want to get to burned out. So what are the things I can do now if I'm thinking, oh, well, it's quite busy at work, or I've been feeling a bit under the weather sometimes. Like, we want to get ahead of it, don't we?
Yep. And from a business owner perspective, here's a really big one. At the end of each year, last quarter-ish, I usually do it around October.
Right.
Sit down with your better half, your family, and the people that you love, whoever it is, and put on your calendar for the following year all of the holidays you're going to take. Put them on the calendar before everything else. Everything else. You put that on the calendar first. Then secondly, put on the time for you on a regular basis as well. And then you can end up putting all of the business stuff on. That little shift makes a big, big difference.
Again, a little shift, but a massive shift, because there is no way most people are doing that. They are fitting in holidays around the time that's left, aren't they?
Yeah.
Or they're fitting them in last minute, or they're thinking, well, I won't commit to that because I just don't know what's going to be happening at the time.
Right.
Yeah, they are micro, but I know personally like just how massive they are when you start to do this.
Yeah.
It's completely game changing.
Try and make it as regular as you can without, if you're still working, getting to the point where you might be fired, or, if you are running your business and you're still in the infancy part of it, like, understand it is better to take 4 3-day breaks over the course of the year, each quarter, than it is to take a 2-week break in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
Much, much better. Yeah.
Totally. And like just winding it back again, like into the days, one of the things I have really learned so much is about taking the breaks in the day. So, like obviously in your first burnout, you were sat in your chair for 16 hours, crushing your vertebrae, which nobody wants.
Yeah.
But things I've started doing, or even like, well, if you say work for 90 minutes or an hour, and then you go, you set an alarm, right, I'm just going to have a 5-minute stand up stretch, like read, just get back into, you do better work and you get more back in tune with what you're doing next, like being more intentional about the next hour in the day. And
So Chloe was telling me, my daughter, she's also our COO at Youpreneur. She was telling me that she realized actually she wasn't getting out of her chair as often as she probably could. She works from home as well. And so I got her a bird feeder, and I put it outside a kitchen window, and I loaded it up with a load of bird food. And for the first couple of days, nothing really happened. Every time she walked by the window, she kind of looked to see whether there's any birds feeding on the bird feeder. This is so true. And so after about 3 or 4 days, the birds, once they find a food source, they'll be all over it, right? And so she kind of realized, oh, there's a robin. Oh, look, there's a blue tit. Oh, I don't know what that one is. Hang on, I'll take a photo and send it to Dad, kind of thing, right? He'll ID it for me, all that kind of stuff. And then now she says there are multiple times, like 6-7 times a day, she'll get up, just go look out the window for a few minutes.
Oh,
yeah.
There's a lot of bird watching going on in the Ducker family, isn't there?
Yeah, there might be something there. I don't know, man. If the RSPB is watching, I'm also available for sponsoring, right? No, I just, I think, going back to what I said, it's about finding out the good triggers for you and diving more into those, spending more time doing those, as well as avoiding the bad triggers, right?
Yeah.
And I guess I've just, maybe I'm getting a bit old, Emma, I don't know. But for me, I just like the natural world now. It's something that allows me to be able to completely switch off and decompress. And it's just something I enjoy. So I'm doing more of it.
Totally. Honestly, I don't think it's anything to do with getting old. I think that's naturally what, whether it's, I know grounding is maybe a step next of taking the shoes off and walking.
I do that too, actually.
Like we are meant to be in those environments, aren't we? That's how we were meant to be originally. And no wonder that we don't feel great when we're just either in, built-up areas and phones and everything.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I banned them from my bedroom. I took the TV out of my bedroom, the whole thing. It's kind of like, that's the sanctuary now where lights out. We replaced our bedside lamps with red lights.
Oh, mega. I
So
didn't know you could do
there's
that.
no blue light, no green light in our bedroom, nothing like that.
Nice.
And, it's about switching off and about giving yourself time to be able to recover after a good day at work.
Yeah, totally. Life is too short. But as you say, I did love your phrase around like life's too short, but also we want to have energy while we're in this life, because otherwise,
why are we here?
Yeah.
And I do, from a sustainable leadership standpoint, I know I've got a lot of years left in me. I know I can inspire a lot of people for a long time. I know I want to carry on jumping up on stages and writing books and helping people. Like, I feel that in me. I know I can do it for a lot longer. Therefore, I'm doing the work before the work.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing the work now.
Yeah, the preventative.
So I can carry on doing all the other stuff.
Yeah, totally. Chris, unfortunately, we're drawing to the end of our time together.
We are.
But if people want, so when is the book out? And if people want to know more about how to be a long haul leader. I know you work with clients, so you have events. Like, how can they find out more about?
So
both?
I don't know, when is this going to go live? I'm putting her on the spot now for her
That is
schedule.
I would say in about 4 weeks time.
Okay, so everybody will have time then. So
the end of July.
The book comes out September 2
Oh, okay, perfect.
in the United States,
Right.
and September 25 here in the UK.
Oh, wow.
Because we're always behind America, aren't we? Right? Simple as that. But if anybody wants to pre-order the book, they can go to longhaulleader.com and they can pre-order the book now. And if they do that before the September 2 date, they'll get over $600 worth of bonuses.
Amazing.
So I've got training videos, I've got downloadable stuff and all that good stuff as well. So longhaulleader.com. And if you want to experience it in person, on November 1st and 2nd this year in Cambridge, England, we are doing a 2-day Long Haul Leader Summit where I've got lots of my brilliant speaker friends coming along.
Oh, wow.
And we've got 100 spots available. That's it. It's very intimate, very special. We did it last year as well, kind of under the radar last year, and it still sold out. But it was a very, very special weekend last year. So I'm looking forward to doing it again this year as well. So you can go to longhaulleader.com/summit for direct info on the event.
Awesome. And I know how great your events are because I went to all
Why
of
don't
your
you should
Youpreneur
come.
events.
Come and be my guest. I'd love you to come and check it out.
I would love to.
Yeah.
Just a question on the event. So is it all about wellness or is it also about...
It's about everything we've been talking about.
Okay.
So it's the impactful work, it's the personal mastery, it's the hobbies, it's the whole kit and caboodle, everything.
Love it.
Yeah, everything.
Amazing. And online, you are Chris Ducker everywhere, aren't you? If they want to.
There's only one of me. Thank God. Thank God. Right? Yeah.
Oh, Chris, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much
my pleasure.
for taking the time. I know you're in the middle of a hectic book launch
Yeah.
program up until September now. Thank you for being a guest. You've been fantastic.
Anytime at all.